This is Darshana Gauchan with your B2B Cambodia Market update for August 14th, 2024. The Cambodia Securities Exchange Index was up 0.53 points or 0.13% to 413.08. Total trade volume was far higher than yesterday and at a moderate level, with 586,240 shares changing hands at a total value of roughly 2.1 billion Khmer Real, or close to $522,000. With that said, only two stocks were up on the main board, with Royal Group Phnom Penh SEZ leading the market, up 0.87% or 20 Real to 2,310 Real per share, and Cam GSM rising 0.41% or 10 Real to 2,430 Real per share. Among the four stocks down, Grand Twins International was the biggest loser of the day, dropping 1.64% or 60 Real to 3,590 Real per share, followed by Phnom Penh Autonomous Port, which fell by 0.68% or 100 Real to 14,500 Real per share. The other two stocks down were Pestec Cambodia and the Phnom Penh Water Supply Authority. Meanwhile, MJQ Education, Akleda Bank, and the Sihanoukville Autonomous Port remained flat. Over on the growth board, both JS Land and DBD Engineering were up. JS Land rose 2.64% or 90 Real to 3,500 Real per share, while DBD Engineering was up by 0.48% or 10 Real to 2,090 Real per share. Grand Twins International recorded the highest trade volume of the day, with 438,432 shares changing hands at a total value of over 1.4 billion Real, or around $357,000, making up around 74% of the total trade volume on August 14th. Royal Group Phnom Penh SEZ recorded the second highest trade volume of the day, with 77,930 shares changing hands at a total value of 179.4 million Real, or around $44,000, making up around 13% of Wednesday's trade volume. In other market news, more companies continue to release their second quarterly reports for 2024. The Sihanoukville Autonomous Port has reported an increase in revenue, operating profit, and net profit, with revenue in Q2 of 2024 reaching 114.5 billion Khmer Real, or $28.1 million, which is an increase of 24.39% compared to the same quarter in 2023. The Sihanoukville Autonomous Port attributes the rise in revenue and profits to an increase in container cargo and cargo throughput this quarter compared to Q2 in 2023. The Phnom Penh Autonomous Port also reported an increase in revenue by 15.93% compared to Q2 2023 to 41.8 billion Khmer Real, or around $10.2 million. While the company saw a 3.29% quarter-on-quarter decrease in operating profit, it also recorded a 3.4% quarter-on-quarter increase in net profit. Finally, MJQ Education reported that the company's revenue in Q2 of 2024 increased by 10.78% compared to Q2 of 2023. However, the same comparison of net profit shows a 1.12% decrease. As of June 30th, 2024, MJQ Education's total assets reached 434.1 billion Khmer Real, or $105,634,203, increasing by 5.75% from the 2023 year-end. The company's total equity also reached 101.9 billion Real, or $24,797,176, which is a 16.32% increase from December 31st, 2023. On to the exchange rate, the Khmer Real to USD remained the same at 4,091 Real per US dollar, while the US dollar index was slightly down to 102.48. Oil prices rose slightly on Wednesday after an industry report showed U.S. crude and gasoline inventories fell, and as the market watched for a possible widening of the Israel-Gaza war, which may impact global oil supplies. Brent crude futures rose 32 cents or 0.4% to $81.01 a barrel. Gold prices hovered near record highs, steered by hopes of U.S. interest rate reduction and persistent Middle East tensions, while the spotlight shifted to U.S. inflation data. Spot gold was up 0.2% to $2,469.35 per ounce, shy of the record high of $2,483.60 scaled last month. U.S. gold futures steadied at $2,508.40. Futures tied to the S&P 500 paused on Wednesday after the benchmark index logged 4 straight days of gains as investors cautiously awaited a key inflation report for clues on the pace of interest rate cuts from the U.S. Federal Reserve. Nasdaq 100 futures were 0.1% lower as Alphabet, Google's parent company, dipped 1.3% in pre-market trading. Some media reports say the U.S. Department of Justice is considering options that include breaking up Google. A rebound in mega cap and technology stocks have helped markets recoup most of their losses from a global market rout earlier this month that was partly caused by data showing a surge in U.S. unemployment rates in July. This was Darshana Gauchen with your B2B Cambodia Market update for August 14th.